with Arizona, like as one of those like basement feeder teams, like what do you see on that one? That like it's so low, it's you got to bet over, or like no, this team can be really bad.
Yeah, you know what, man? I think I would take the under on that
Ooh,
69 and a
fuck.
half.
I
Like that team sucks.
don't even know who they have now.
Like they're
Like,
just, man, they basically just took all of those Vancouver contracts
yeah, that's
with
right.
Jay
Joey L.
Beagle and
Yeah,
Antoine Roussel. I mean, they got Jacob Chikrin, who
yeah.
emerged as one of the best defensemen in the NHL last season. Like he was awesome. But man, I'm just looking at their forward core right now. I mean, I still like Clayton Keller, but he has disappointed after signing his contract. I think he signed a $7 million contract. Like,
Remember when he came in the league? Like the highlight reels he was putting up, how excited everyone was for this kid.
oh man, yeah, he came in like looking fantastic, and I think he also set some records like in the U.S. Development
I think you're
program.
right.
Like they
Yeah,
were
that rings a
comparing him to
bell.
Matthews just in terms of like how much he tore up the U.S. Development program. But yeah, he signed a contract for over $7 million. And we talked
Wow.
about contracts on the last show, and I think Dom had that as like a really. I don't think it was like a very bad contract, but he definitely had it in the negative. But
Mhm.
yeah, like Clayton Keller, 8 years, 57.2 million. So yeah, he's a guy like if he could take, the next step and emerge as the player that a lot of people thought he would become, maybe they're not going to be terrible. But yeah, like Phil Kessel, Nick Schmaltz, Christian Dvorak is a pretty good player. But after that, okay, Barrett Hayton, who they also drafted pretty high, but you just go down this roster, it's just not good,
Yeah.
just not very good. Then they also lost, they lost both of their goalies, Anthony Emmys in Carolina, Darcy Kemper's now on the Colorado
Yeah,
Avalanche.
Kemper. Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, this team sucks. I think I'm going to take the under on this team.
Yeah. I heard Dvorak, story I tell. I made a point to go see the London Knights when they were in town during Marner's last year there. And their top line was Marner, Kachuk, and Dvorak.
That is disgusting.
In the OHL. So you had like two high picks and then like
Wow.
Dvorak, I think was a second round pick. And I'm saying this with all seriousness. This is in no way an exaggeration. They were playing, the three of them when they were on the ice were playing pickup hockey. Like they were just like passing it around, like in front of the net. You score, no, you score, empty net, like barred out. Like it was actually hilarious how much better those three were than everybody else. But so I've always kind of kept my eye on Dvorak, like from remembering that game and how dominant that line was.
Yeah, that must have
Um,
been cool to watch live because I remember like watching
oh,
highlights of that London Knights team because they would show like Marner, right? Because he was like one of the top picks in the draft. And yeah, I feel like all those guys had like 120 points that season with the London Knights. Like it
yeah,
was crazy.
that team was pretty well like unbeatable. And even I remember watching like again, like you're watching a prospect, your favorite team, like how excited I was for Marner. Like he was like playing the point on the power play, just like doing whatever he
Yeah, doing
wanted.
whatever the hell he wanted out
Yeah,
there.
I'll go sideboards now. It was just hilarious. Like again, how good they were. Phil Kessel, though, man. I mean, our boy Phil, one more year of Phil. For Leafs fans out there, I believe this is the last year of the Phil Kessel
That he's
contract.
on the books.
Yeah, that 1.2 million for
I
the
think you're right. I should go
Kapanen
double
deal.
check that on Cat Friendly, but I think you are right.
Exciting. The Leafs are going to free up some cap space.
Yeah, it's the last year, 1.2 million of
Why'd they
retained
do that?
salary for Phil the Thrill.
Why'd they do that? I always wondered, like, what was the negotiation in that? That like, hey, you have to take 1.2 million, and maybe that got them Kapanen or something. There was not okay. We'll give you Kapanen if you do this, but I don't know. I found it's kind of like a weird random thing, like to keep 1.2 million of his $8 million.
Yeah, especially because he was really good
Yeah,
with
like he's like a
them.
30, 35 goal scorer every
Like
year.
holy crap, man. He won 2 Stanley Cups. Like, so
Is Phil
anyway.
Kessel a Hall of Famer?
Oh, we can do a whole podcast on that.
Because people throw it. I've never, I don't really like my first answer would be no, but I've heard people throw it out there. I think Friedman threw it out there like he should be in the Hall of Fame. Like his goal rate, his consistency. I mean, people joke a lot about Phil's fitness, but like he's always healthy. Like he always, I remember with the Leafs, it was like, look at his stats, like 80 games, 82
Yeah, he's like
games.
one of the best Iron Men of
Yeah.
basically like this entire generation.
Yeah. So the hot dogs are working, everyone. I mean, contrary to popular belief.
For
Um,
real. Make fun of his diet and the way that he looks all you want, but this dude is always available for his team and he scores a ton of goals and he's won a couple of championships. So, you know what? When you break down that dude's career, he is sort of a borderline Hall of Famer.
A lot of people think too, man. And the guy said before how much I love Sid. A lot of people think Kessel was robbed of that
Like the Conn Smythe one of those years.
That was the first year where like he had more goals than Sid, and I think a lot of like timely goals. And they just kind of gave it to Sid because it's Sid.
Yeah, because it's Sid.
Yeah, kind of like the Washington year. It's like, well, Ovechkin's gonna get it.
Exactly. It's almost like when anytime like LeBron wins the NBA championship. I mean, LeBron's like insane.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, we're just gonna give it to LeBron. We're just gonna give it to the best player on the team that won the title, even if their numbers are not the best. Right.
Yeah. Well,
That's
there
kinda
was
how it works sometimes in sports. Same thing with Tom Brady. He always wins Super Bowl
Bruno,
MVP.
don't do it to me, Bruno. The MVP. Oh my God. What was and I'm gonna throw it? Was it 147 yards passing in his first Super Bowl, 1 touchdown pass? They gave him the MVP after his defense stopped the greatest show on turf, one of the best offensive teams ever. Last year, his defense held Patrick Mahomes to 9 points, but they give Brady the MVP. Oh my God. Don't get me started on Tom Brady. Against Seattle, he threw 2 interceptions. They gave him the MVP. You ruined my Sunday, Bruno.
I had to bring up Tom Brady, man.
Yeah.
Every time I bring up Tom Brady,
Laporte 0 to 100.
The fire just starts burning inside him, and it is the greatest
God.
thing ever when you mention Tom Brady in front of Michael
Brady.
Laporte.
One day I'll meet Tom. And so
I need a selfie, Laporte. I just want to go on Instagram one day and just see a picture of you and Tom Brady.
Oh man,
just 2 of the best looking dudes out there.
Oh,
just a
thanks,
nice selfie.
But you know what's hilarious too with the whole Tom Brady thing? Like I'm funny. I mentioned earlier in the show that I'm a big Notre Dame fan. Of all schools, he had to go to Michigan. Like that extra thing, like reason to hate him. Like he was a quarterback at Michigan, like one of Notre Dame's biggest historical rivals. But let's talk about something else, Bruno. Like you're ruining my Sunday here.
All right, no more Tom Brady talk, Laporte. We'll save it for the next podcast.